The Moradabad district in Uttar Pradesh, northern India is, like 70% of India's population, made up of rural communities living in small towns and villages. The majority of the people live simply, with the local crops of rice and wheat making up their staple diet, and the river Aril providing them with their drinking water. This way of life is beginning to change dramatically as the effects of India's economic boom are felt. In 1990, a paper factory was established in the heart of these communities, directly on the banks of the river Aril. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, this factory is in production, its chimney pumping out thick, granular ash, directly next to a busy highway. This ash fills the air and coats everything in a thick, gritty dirt. But the air quality is not the only thing affected. The river Aril has also greatly suffered. The factory pumps its untreated chemical waste directly into the river, causing a devastating impact on the quality of the water. You can clearly see all life in the river has been killed by these poisonous chemicals. Where once villagers drank from the river, they are now forced to dig deeper and deeper wells to reach safe, clean water. For many this isn't possible, and as a result jaundice is the #1 cause of death amongst these people. Perhaps the worst thing about this disaster is the refusal of the local government to acknowledge the severity of the situation. Government testing of the pH levels of the water finds it within a safe limit, whilst independent tests find it to be dangerously alkaline, as our graph shows. Government testing of the content of the water again finds it to be within safe limits, and again independent tests find it to be dangerously contaminated, illustrated once again by our graph. Ignoring the thick sludge coating the river, government officials find oxygen levels within the safe limits prescribed. Yet again in direct conflict with independent test results. Inspections are clearly token gestures, with the economic interests of the factory favoured over the health and livelihood of thousands of people. Tons of excess ash is produced by the factory every week and dumped on the banks of the river. Yet another indication of the damage this factory is causing to the surrounding environment. Farmers have been severely affected, with problems finding fresh water for cattle and crops destroyed. The communities that live around the river are now at crisis point. Soon there will be no fresh water to drink, and the children living around the river Aril will be victims of India's industrialisation rather than its beneficiaries, whilst all the time the factory continues polluting.